Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're looking at problems that occur with averages in Microsoft Excel, and this might surprise you. I have a very simple worksheet here. All I've got is some quarters here, 4 quarters for the year 2022. I have a couple of expense items, and for simplicity, I've just put really simple numbers in here. So for expense item 1, we spent $2 every quarter of the year in 2022. So if we want to work out what the average is, we're going to type an average formula. Equals average, bracket, we're going to select over the cells, we're going to close the bracket, we're going to press enter. There's no surprises here that we have a quarterly average of 2. But let's copy this down to the next row where we had an expense item where we spent $2 in quarters 1, 2, and 4, but nothing at all in quarter 3. And we've got a quarterly average here of 2, and that's not technically correct. It should be less than that because we didn't spend anything in quarter 3. If we put a 0 in this cell, then we'll get the correct answer, which is a quarterly average of 1.5. So if we were extrapolating that out for an annual budget for 2023, then we'd need to be looking at $8 for expense item 1 and $6 as a starting point for expense item 2. You can see here that all I've done is taken the average and multiplied by 4 to get an annual budget. But this is the problem here. If we don't put 0 in every single one of the cells where there is no value, or we didn't do an expense in quarters 1, 2, 3, or 4, we're going to get some inaccuracies built into our worksheet. And this is not atypical. You might have insurance as an item and you only pay insurance in 1 quarter of the year, and so you're going to get some incorrect values. Now, if you were taught at school how to average things, this is how you would have been taught to average. You would have totaled everything. So you would have summed up all the values in these cells here, and then you would have divided by the number of values that you had, and there were 4 values. There are 4 quarters. So using sum and dividing by 4 is actually a more accurate way of dealing with a worksheet where you have potentially cells that have no value but are not 0. So this one actually works exactly the same whether there's a 0 or a nothing at all in the cell. This one here does not work correctly. It's still reporting 2 as a quarterly average when in actual fact it should be 1.5. So just be aware that when you're calculating averages where there are blanks, you're likely to get incorrect results. I actually think it's unconscionable that Excel hasn't provided an average formula that deals with this sort of situation. It should have it. It's a really, really simple problem that's looking for a solution. And right now there isn't one beyond going back to the basics of mathematics that you learned at school where you're adding values together and dividing by the total number of values. If you like carefully researched content like this, clearly presented in a step-by-step format so that you can get great results every time, then you'll love my other YouTube videos. So give this video a thumbs up and click to subscribe to the channel. And on the screen now, you'll see a video that I've handpicked for you to watch next.